Initial take so far on what we've seen out of the auto guys?
Look, it's starting off as a pretty soft month, actually. Even though Ford and Nissan beat, they've done so with a lot of sales to commercial fleet buyers, especially rental car companies. Ford had a very big month with commercial fleet sales. And then you have General Motors being down, and they were predicted to be up. The other thing is General Motors is saying that the seasonally annual adjusted selling rate is 16.6 million vehicles. Last year it was 17.2 million vehicles. It's not an awful month. It's not cratering, but it's certainly softer, and it continues to be, basically another month of down sales. It looks like that we've seen every year or every month this year. So not terrible, but just continues to soften up.
The numbers keep coming out here in the United States. Fiat Chrysler now, May U.S. auto sales down 1%, the estimate down 3.9%. So in isolation, not great, but a relative upside surprise, down just a 1%, the estimate down by 3.9%. David, I want to pick up on the point of the banks. The banks pulling back on auto loans. We heard it from the likes of Welch Fargo a little bit earlier. Pulling back in autos is the right long-term decision. Can these guys get the kind of sales that they have over the last couple of years if the banks are going to tighten up the strings?
Well, remember, they have their own captive lenders that do a lot of this work. General Motors, for example, has GM Financial, which used to be AmeriCredit. They specialize in subprime lending. So they can get strong sales numbers, but this will hurt on the margin if you see players like Wells Fargo and Santander pulling back on some of the subprime issues. One of the issues all the lenders are having, especially the non-captive finance companies, that is, the financiers that aren't owned by car companies, is the used car values or the collateral is going down. So if they have to repossess a vehicle, then it's worth less and they lose money later on. And the same thing goes with leasing. If the values keep going down, they take the car back at the end of the lease and it's worth less. Makes it a tougher proposition from a profitability standpoint, so they do pull back. And leasing's been very popular for the last few years. So yeah, it's going to hurt sales. It's not going to kill it, but I think that's just part of this bubbling cauldron here that you see that you boil it all together and sales are just softening up from where we were last year.